Hi guys, welcome to Mr. Cloudbook channel. In this particular video, we are going to discuss about how to deploy an application using the GitHub Actions. So let's discuss about the process, how to deploy our application using the GitHub Actions. So as a DevOps engineer, I will guide you through the process of setting up CI/CD pipeline and integrating security scans and deploying application using various tools and technologies. Let's break down this step in easy way. DevOps engineer or whoever working on that project will store the code into the GitHub repository. This is the central place for version control and collaboration among developers. So for next continuous integration, continuation deployment, we will use the GitHub Actions as our CI/CD tool. And GitHub Actions allows us to automate the build and deployment process. It will trigger actions based on the code changes in our repository. So GitHub Action Runners. So we will talk about the GitHub Action Runners little bit. So GitHub Actions provide two types of runners. Okay. So one is GitHub hosted runners and other one is self-hosted runners. So GitHub hosted runners are managed by the GitHub and come with the pre-configured environment, while self-hosted runners are configured by us and providing more control over the runner environment. Okay. In this particular project, we are using the self-hosted runner to complete our project. So self-hosted runner, why we use the self-hosted runner? To have more control over the build environment, we will set up a self-hosted runner on Amazon EC2 instance. This runner will execute the CI/CD workflows till end of the project. On the same EC2 instance, we will install Docker, and Docker enables the containerization of our application, making it portable and easily deployable. So using the Docker, we will set up a SonarQube container on the same EC2 instance, and SonarQube is a code quality and security analysis tool. We will use it to scan our code with the SonarQube. And next, for the dependency installations, we will add up an npm install command to install application dependencies. This step ensures that our required packages are available for the application. Okay, that's npm install command for the next stage. After that, we will integrate Trivy to scan our application code and Docker images for our security vulnerabilities. Trivy is a container scanning tool also. So that's why we are using the Trivy image scan here. And before that, we need to build the Docker image, right? So we are going to build the Docker image and we are going to tag it with our username, and we are going to push the image to our Docker hub. After that, we will scan the image using the Trivy. So once that is done, we will use the Docker to deploy the application within a container. This ensures consistent and reliable deployment. If you want to run your application in a Kubernetes cluster, we will use tools like kubectl and Helm to deploy and manage our application on Kubernetes. So after the Docker container deployment, we will deploy our application on the Amazon EKS also. How did we get this particular Amazon EKS? So on the same EC2 instance, we will install Terraform and required other tools, and we use the Terraform to provision AWS EKS on our AWS console. So we will deploy the application on our AWS EKS. Throughout this complete project, the complete process, we will configure a Slack notification using the webhooks or other integration to keep team informed about the status of builds and deployments. So in summary, as a DevOps engineer, we aim to create an automated and secure CI/CD pipeline that involves code storage and quality and security scanning and Docker containerization and deployment to Docker and Kubernetes. So this is the simple game we are going to deploy. Tic-tac-toe is the game. So we are going to deploy in this particular project. So let's go to the AWS console and we will launch an EC2 instance first. So come to the AWS console and you can see I'm in the Mumbai region. So let's click on EC2, click on launch instance. So you can provide any name you want. So I'm just going with the GitHub Actions -EKS. That is fine. And for the application OS image, select the Ubuntu. So because I am going to provide the Ubuntu commands only, that's why I'm using the Ubuntu here. And for the AMI, you have to select the 22.04 only. For the instance type, you can go with the T2 medium or T2 large. So as your wish. So but I'm going with the T2 medium. So that is enough. So select the key pair and select an existing security group which you have on your laptop or in your console. So I'm using the launch Richard one. So which opens 22 and 443 and 80 on that mission, and 9000 also, because SonarCube runs on 9000. That's why I opened 9000 in this particular launch wizard one security group. Okay, so let's increase the storage up to the 20. So because we need to install some other tools, right, for the Node.js, Terraform, AWS, CLI, and kubectl, everything to be installed on the same instance. That's why we need the storage. Just increase the storage up to 20 GB. So that is done. So storage is increased to 20, and just click on launch instance. So come back to instances. So it will take some time to come up. Okay, so into the running state. So in order to create an EKS, we need the IAM role from the EC2 instance. So we will attach that IAM role to our EC2 instance, so that we can easily provision our EKS without any credentials. So search IAM and enter. So this is the IAM dashboard. So in the left side panel, you have to click on roles and click on create role, and use the trusted entity type as a AWS service. And for the use case, you have to select the EC2. So for the EC2 we are attaching it, that's why I'm selecting the EC2, and you have to click on next. And for the policies attachment, you have to select the EC2 full access and EKS full access. Just for the learning purpose, we are going with administrator access only, but so this project can go with the EKS full access and EC2 full access. That is enough. Okay, but we are going with the administrator access. And next, and you have to provide a role name. So I am providing the GitHub Actions, the same name. Okay, and just click on create role, and you can see the role is created. This is the role that we created now. And let's go back to the EC2, select the instances running, and you can see it's the status also fine. So select the EC2 instance and click on connect, and copy the SSH client. Okay, so and open your putty or mobile extreme. So I will go with mobile extreme only. So paste the SSH client that you copied and click on enter. Just provide S and enter. So it will connect to our system. And clear the screen and update the system. Sudo apt update every time. So whenever you start an instance. So clear the screen and just install the Docker now. Sudo apt install docker.io -y, and just enter. So this will install Docker on our system. Just clear the screen, and you have to start it and enable it by providing sudo systemctl start docker, enter, and just enable the Docker. So enable, and you can see the status also, status, and you can see it's active running. So Control C and Control L to clear the screen. So let's add our Ubuntu user to Docker group. So if you provide Docker PS, it will get the permission denied error. So in order to get the permissions, so we need to add our Ubuntu user to the Docker group by providing the sudo. Let me come down. So sudo user mod. So -a capital G. So what is the group? Docker is the group, and user is Ubuntu. So I'm using the Ubuntu, right? You can see here, this is the Ubuntu user. So that's why I'm adding the same user here, and enter. And you have to provide the new group Docker in order to take the effect. Okay, so just provide new group Docker here and enter. And if you provide the Docker PS again, you won't get any error. Okay, so let's add the permissions to docker.socket also by providing sudo chmod 777. So just for learning purpose, I am using 777. So otherwise you can go with the 600, 666 or anything. Var run docker.socket, enter, clear the screen, and let's start our SonarCube container from docker run -d -name. So provide a name sonar -p. So SonarCube runs on 9000. So colon 9000, and you have to provide the SonarCube image. So SonarCube LTS -community is the late image for our SonarCube. Okay, so click on enter. So we can't find image locally, that's why it's downloading from the dockerhub.com, and it will run the container. So that is done. Just clear the screen and provide the Docker PS, and let's see whether it's running or not. So SonarCube is up and running. So you can see status 4 seconds ago. So let's come back to the console, and you go to the EC2 connect here, and just copy the IP address and open a new tab. and paste the code here with 9000 and enter. So it will take 1 minute to come up. So just log in to the SonarQube using the admin user. So username is admin and password is also admin. So small letters. So click on login. Okay, and never. So provide the old password. So admin, and you have to update your new password and confirm it. And click on update. And you can see this is the dashboard for our SonarQube. So we need the SonarQube for our code analysis. So that is done. So next we need the Terraform to provision our EKS. So let's go back to my blog. This is the blog for complete project. So you can directly go with the launch an EC2 instance and you can set the self-hosted runner directly. But I am going to do with the tools, and later that I will add self-hosted runner to my EC2 instance. So you can click here. So installation of other tools, and you can see this is the script. So this first script will install Java 17 on our system, and next it will install Trivy. So we need the Trivy, right, for the file scan and image scan. That's why we are installing the Trivy on the instance. And next we need the Terraform to provision our EKS cluster. That's why we are using the Terraform script to download the Terraform, and kubectl to be installed on our on our EC2 instance, right? So whenever we provision EKS cluster, we need to see the nodes. So in order to see the nodes, we need the kubectl also. That's why we are installing the kubectl. And AWS is also required for our configuring and updating kube config and everything. That's why we are downloading the AWS CLI. And finally, this application requires Node.js. Okay, that's why we are downloading the Node.js 16th version. So just copy this script and go back to our mobile extreme and clear the screen and come enter. So you can just provide any file name. Okay, just I'm going with sudo vi tools.sh, enter, and paste the command that you copy, enter. So escape shift colon WQ and come out of this. And if you provide LL, you can see this tools.sh doesn't have permissions for executable. You can see only there is a read and write permissions. So just provide the executable permissions by providing sudo chmod +x to the tools.sh and enter. And if you provide LL, and you can see now it's in the green color and get the executable permissions also. Clear the screen and just provide a / and tools.sh and enter. So it will install every script. Okay, and you can see that is done. Installation is done. So let's see our versions of everything, right? So we need, first we will check the Trivy version. So Trivy icon version here and enter. So Trivy is fine. And let's see the kubectl version. Kubectl version here, enter. So kubectl version is 1.28, and just again, and you have to provide the AWS icon version and enter. And you can see AWS CLI's version is installed. And let's see final, we need the node, right? So node -v, enter, and you can see node version is 16. So I forgot to show the Java version also. So, and you can see Java icon version here and enter, and you can see 17th version of Java is installed. And I will provide the every script. Okay, so everything will work, don't worry about the script. So clear the screen, and that is done. So every tool is installed so that we require. So now go back to the browser and just select the TikTok-Toy repository of mine and just copy the code. You have to clone this on your instance. So just provide git clone and insert the link and enter. So it will download the TikTok-Toy game repository and change directory into TikTok-Toy. And if you provide ls here, and you can see there is an EKS Terraform. Those are the Terraform files to provision EKS. And let's cd to EKS, change directory to Terraform. And if you provide ls here, and you can see, so backend.tf and main.tf and provider.tf. And if you provide cat and provider.tf, enter. All you have to do is change your region. So whatever your region you want, you can change the region in provider.tf. And if you provide cat backend.tf, and you have to provide your original S3 bucket. Okay, this is my S3 bucket that is available on my AWS console. So you have to change your own S3 bucket here. So and you have to change the region also. So let's clear the screen and let's see LL, and you can see backend.tf, main.tf and provider.tf, and let's initialize by providing the terraform init command and enter. Sorry, so we created the role but we didn't attach it that role to EC2 console. That's why it's getting the error. You can see, so no valid credential source found. So let's go back to my AWS console. So we forgot to add our IAM role to our EC2 instance. That's why we are getting the error. And come back to instances, and you can see select the instance, that is GitHub Actions EKS, and if you click on actions, click on security here and modify IAM role, and you can see there is no role is attached here. So just refresh once and select the role that we created. So we created role, right? GitHub Actions, just select that one and you have to click on update IAM role, and you can see successfully attached to the instance. So and if you provide terraform init now, we won't get any error. So and you can see it's working fine now, initializing the background and without any error. So that's why we created an IAM role. You can see the initialization is successful, and let's clear the screen, and you can provide the terraform validate to see our configuration is working fine or not. So to see any syntactical errors, any redundancy in our code and everything, we need to provide terraform validate and just provide enter, and you can see this is success and configuration is valid, and that means our code is good. So and if you provide terraform plan, and you can see what it will create and everything. So we are creating the 8 resources. So you can see 8 resources. So I already explained what is the terraform file and how to create an EKS from the terraform in a video. So you can watch that video also for clear explanation and everything. So and I will provide the link in the description. You can go watch that video if you have any doubts on EKS terraform. So clear the screen. So it will create an IAM role and node group and node cluster and everything. That's why if you don't know what this code does, so just go to that video and watch that video. I will explain clearly everything over there, and after that you can do this project. So I think most of the users will familiar with EKS and Terraform. That's why I'm not saying what it will create and everything. So just provide Terraform, apply here and enter, and you can see it will create a cluster. You can see the name also here in the top. You can see this is the cluster name. So you can see cluster name is EKS Cloud. We are creating with the name of EKS Cloud. So you have to provide us here and enter. So it will provision your EKS cluster on our AWS console. So it will take maximum 10 minutes to create an or to provision EKS cluster. So let's go to the browser and let's integrate. So let's generate the code for the SonarQube and GitHub Actions. To integrate SonarQube with the GitHub Actions, we need some code, right? So we need to go to the SonarQube dashboard, and you can see this is, you have to click on manually here, and you have to provide any name you want. You can see here. So I'm selecting the manually here. So after this, so I'm selecting manually, and you have to provide a display name whatever you want. So I am just providing the, so tick hyphen game is enough for me. For the profile name, I will display name. So I'm just providing the tick game for the display name. So the project key is also same, and you can see the branch here. And if you go back to the GitHub repository, we are using the main branch. So that's why we are setting the main branch here, and click on setup, and we need to select the GitHub Actions with GitHub Actions. So because we are using for the GitHub Actions, right, just select this one. So we need to add the secrets for our SonarQube integrations inside our GitHub. Okay, so let's go to the GitHub repository here, and you have to click on settings, and you have to come down. So after, in the security tab, you can see in the security tab you have to click on secrets and variables, and you have to click on actions. We are using the secrets for actions, right, GitHub Actions. That way you have to select the actions, and we need to click on no repository secret. And what is our secret name? So come here, and this is our secret name. Okay, so for our Sonar token, so just copy this one. You can see copy to clipboard and come back here, and this is the name. Okay, Sonar token is the name, and we need to generate the token here. So you can see in the value field, enter an existing token. So we don't have any token created till now, so that's why we will generate a token now. You have to click on generate a token, and we can use the same name. Okay, so tick game anything. So just click on generate and just copy the token here. So this is the token we need to provide over there. So in the secret section, you need to provide the token here and add secret. So let me paste it inside my file once. So in the script.sh. So I saved the key here, and let's come back, and you can see Sonar token is added now. And let's come back to Sonar Cube dashboard, click on continue. That is done. So we added the repository secret for our token only, but we need to tell that GitHub Actions to go to this particular URL and use this particular token to scan our code. So in order to do that, we have to add another secret for our URL also. So you can see, click on new repository secret again. So we have to come back to here and click on new repository secret, and under the name we have to copy this name. So in the name field, enter the Sonar host underscore URL. Just copy this and come back to GitHub repository, and you have to paste that one, and you can see Sonar underscore host underscore URL is the name, and you come back to Sonar Cube dashboard, and you have to, in the value field, enter this particular IP address. So just copy this IP address and come back to GitHub and paste that one and add secret. And you can see Sonar host URL and Sonar token is added, and come back to dashboard Sonar Cube, and you can see this is done. So you can see we added the secret for token and URL. So it will, GitHub will use this particular URL, and it will use this particular token that we added in the secrets to scan our code. Now click on continue. So on our project, so we have to create a workflow, right? So create a workflow for YAML file. So we are using, if you use the Maven project, you have to select the Maven, and if you use the Gradle, select the Gradle.net. So but we are using the React Guys application, that's why I'm selecting the other here. So just select this one, and you can see, so we need to create a file inside our GitHub repository. So create a Sonar projects.properties file in your repository, and you have to paste the following code. So just copy this name. So this is the file name. Okay, just copy the file name. So come here, and you can click on tic-tac-toe, and you have to add file and create a new file, and name of your file that we copied now, right? Sonar-project.properties is the file name, and come here. So this is the info that we have to save inside that file. Okay, sonar.project key tick game. So come back here, and file content is this one. Okay, so name of the file is sonar-project properties, and content is this one. So you have to use this one. You have to click on copy it, and you have to paste it here and commit changes. So you have to click on commit. So this is done. So we have to add the workflow. So in order to check our code, we need to add the workflow. This is the workflow that will go inside our Sonar Cube, and we will check the code. Okay, so you can see here, so name is build. So this is optional, you can provide any name. So on push, whenever we push, it will automatically GitHub will start pushing the code and building the code. Okay, so jobs, so build, so we are using the build name as a build. So runs on Ubuntu. So this host runner, so this runner will provided by the GitHub Actions itself, not using any self-hosted runner. So let's just check out this code. Okay, and try this one. So just copy this one, and first of all copy this particular path. So this is the file name, and come back here, and you have to add file, create a new file here. So inside tic-tac-toe only, and this is the GitHub workflows and build.yaml. You can change any name here. Okay, you can change any name here. So I am just providing the Sonar YAML just for Sonar scanning only. So come back here and just copy this code, and come back and just paste the code here that you copied. And if you want to quality get, just use this code, and we don't want to use the quality get here. So you can see, so Sonar taken environment, it will automatically take it from secrets. So we saved the Sonar token in secrets, right? So this environment will use the secrets from there, and URL from over there. It will scan our code completely. So if you click on commit changes, so click on commit, and if you go back to actions here on the top, and you can see it will start a workflow here. It will take minimum 5 seconds or 10 seconds. So and you can see, so create sonar.yml is added here, and if you click on this one, and you can see the Sonar YML is started, and you can see build is also starting. So we provided the name as build, right? That's why we are getting the build here. And if you set up job, and you can see this will setting up in a job. So the runner image and everything. you can see we didn't provide any image for our work process. So GitHub will automatically provide an image, and we are using the Ubuntu image as 22.04, and it will install everything. Okay, so it will check out the software and everything from our github.com. So run our images. So GitHub will automatically check out the code from their own repositories to install and to run this particular project. Okay, so you can see setup job is done. So we are checking the code, and next you can see, so it's running the checkout and everything. So you can see we are checking out the TikTok toy game here, and next we are scanning the honor cube analysis, everything here. You can see it started analysis, everything is done. You can see execution is also succeeded, and post run sources, and you can see we are getting the we are getting the report to our SonarCube dashboard automatically, and complete job, and you can see cleaning up orphan process. So whatever the process till now Ubuntu used, it will going to clean itself automatically because we used the Ubuntu GitHub host runner. Okay, and it will retrieve everything. And if you go back to SonarCube dashboard, and you have to click on projects, and you can see it scanned our code completely. This is how the GitHub will provide an instance or a Linux server to scan our code. But I have already said that we are using the self-hosted runner for the SonarCube also. So let's go back to the mobile extreme. Let's see. You can see apply is completed and 8 resources is added, and you can see AWS EKS cluster and everything is created, and you can see cluster creation takes up to 7 minutes and 2 minutes 30 seconds for our node group. Okay, so total 10 minutes. And if you go back to here to the console and search for the EKS and enter, and you can see it's created a cluster with EKS cloud. I already showed the name also, EKS cloud. And if you click on this one, and you can see the creation time also, you can see it's created 12 minutes ago. And if you click on compute, and you can see one node group is created and desired size is 1 and active status. And if you go back to the EC2 here, and we can see that we already created a EC2 instance, but node group will automatically launch another EC2 instance. Okay, so let's go and see whether it's launched or not. And you can see its instances is set to running is 2, so automatically node group will run an EC2 instance. So we created this, right? So this is the instance that we created by the node group automatically, and it's using the type as T2 micro. Sorry for that. Let's update that one. Okay, so let's come here. T2 micro won't work for the node group. Okay, for the deployment process and everything it won't work. So just clear the screen, and you have to go inside the sudo vi main.tf file. So we need to use the T2 medium. Okay, so minimum T2 medium is required for the node group. Okay, otherwise it won't run. So let's delete that one. So here, yeah, under instance types you can see here we need to change the T2 medium here. I forgot to change that. So go to the insert mode, and let's change it to medium. Escape shift colon W2 and apply again by providing terraform apply, enter. So it will update, and you can see it's adding 1 to destroy, and it's adding the 1. Okay, it's adding only the node group cluster only, so force replacement. So just provide us, so it will change only the EC2 instance type. First it will destroy that T2 micro instance, and it will update the latest one. Okay, so with the T2 medium, and you can see, so ID is deleting the node cloud. So I will update the code inside my GitHub repository also. Let's go to the browser, and let's come back to here. So come back to summary and go to the tic-tac-toe and go to the EKS terraform, and under main.tf file we need to change it. So edit. So I will change it here directly, you don't worry about changing later. So medium, and you can see T2 medium I changed here, and just commit changes, commit. So I changed it here, right? So it will automatically GitHub Actions will start the another build, and you can see it's automatically started. So whenever we change anything in our GitHub repository, GitHub Actions will automatically take that effect, and it will automatically update to our deployment. Okay, so let's go back to mobile extreme, and you can see it's still destroying the EC node group. Okay, and you can see it's created a T2 micro last time, so but we need the T2 medium. and you can see, so resource is added and one is destroyed. And let's go to the console and just refresh once, and you can see we created a T2 medium instance type now. Okay, so for the node group, so let's add our runner for our project. Okay, so this is also done. Now we need to add a self-hosted runner on our EC2 instance. So go to the settings, and you can see here under actions tab, so select it, and you have to click on runners, and there are no any hosted runner for this particular repository. So just click on new self-hosted runner, and we are selecting the Linux here. So because the runner image, so Ubuntu is the Linux image, right? That's why we are selecting the Linux, and we can go with the Mac OS or Windows anything, but we are using the Ubuntu, that's why I'm selecting Linux here. And architecture is 64. We need to run all these command inside our EC2 instance. First just copy this one and come back here, and let's clear the screen, and let's come back to home directory. Okay, so let's see cd/home and Ubuntu, enter. Okay, so let's insert that command. So it will create an action runner directory, and we are changing to that directory. Okay, so enter, and you can see we are now at action runner directory. Okay, so if you see ls here, and we don't have any files now. So let's come back to the repository again, and we need to download the latest runner package. So just download, select this one, copy, and you have to paste it here and enter. So it will download a .gz file for our runner. Okay, so if you provide ls here, and you can see the image is .gz file is added. And come back to repository, and we need to check the configuration by providing this particular command, and let's insert it and enter, and it will provide okay. So our file is working fine, and let's run this one. So we need to extract this installer that we downloaded. Select this command, and we have to paste it here and then insert, and it will unzip this file. So this is the file, right, that we downloaded. And if you provide ls here, and you can see it's unzipped every file, so bin config.sh and everything. So let's configure. So we need to create the runner and start the configuration. So in order to start the configuration, we need this particular token. So just select this one and come back here and enter, and you have to insert that one and enter. So it will start the GitHub actions on your local EC2 instance, and we need to provide the enter here for the default permissions. Okay, and you have to enter, and you have to provide the name for your runner. So for we are using the GitHub actions, right? So for EKS, so just provide EKS, enter. So you can use any labels here. How many you can provide any number of labels here. So I'm just going with the EKS GitHub actions -EKS. So we can provide any number of labels here. Okay, so I can provide as a and anything. Okay, just click on enter, and you can see runner added successfully. And if we have to provide the enter for work here, and just enter, and you can see settings were saved now. So let's come back here. So in order to start the runner, we need to provide this particular command inside our action runner directory. Okay, so just copy it, and you have to come here and clear the screen and enter, and you have to insert the command, enter, and you can see it will start the GitHub actions here. Okay, so and you can see it's connected to our GitHub repository, and its current runner version is 2.311, and it's for listening for jobs. So till now we didn't attach any jobs, right? So just close it by providing Ctrl+C, and you can see we are existing from that one, and we already added, right? So if you click on this particular runners, come back, we already added, and you can see, so we provided names, right? I provided EKS, and you can see GitHub actions and EKS. These are the labels. So I can use any label for my job, so to run the workflow. Okay, so let's go to the tic-tac-toe, and this is the workflow, right? We already created GitHub workflows and sonar.yaml. We already created this file, and let's edit this file. Okay, so we need to add some other, right? So for the npm installation and everything, you can see here. So till now we just provisioned the EKS, we installed a runner on our EC2 instance, we integrated SonarCube. So we need to do npm install command, tree file scan and everything. So that's why we need to add the remaining steps. Okay, so let's go back to the browser here, and you can see we will use this particular steps and use cases. Okay, so I will change it little bit. Okay, and we don't use this particular Ubuntu latest. Okay, so let's delete this completely. Control all, and you can delete. And let's come back to the blog itself. I already provided every command with the detailed explanation. Okay, so this is the one we need to do. So just copy this one. So everything is same, and you can see sonar, scanner, and everything is same. Okay, so we generated the same thing from here itself also. Okay, so in the sonar cube we generated the same thing. Okay, so name, build and analyze with sonar cube. So it will scan the sonar cube using this particular secrets that we provided. Okay, so it will first check out the code and everything. So I have used the self-hosted. So you can see now we are using the self-hosted, and let me remove this, and I provided a name as Ajay also, right? So just try to run with Ajay. Okay, so later we will try with EKS and everything. Okay, so commit changes, and let's see whether it's working fine or not. So it has to start and complete the process on our EC2 instance. And if you click on update owner, and you can see if you go to the build, it will wait for the starting job means. So you can see requested labels, we need to start the runner here. So /run.sh. So I connected to GitHub, right? So GitHub action runner is started now, and if you go back here, and it will automatically start your job now. Okay, and waiting for a runner to pick up this job. Okay, so it will take some time, and you can see it will listen to this job. Come back to build, and it's taking some time. So just refresh. So we started, right? Yeah, it started and listening. So let's cancel workflow. So job is cancelled before starting. Let's come back to summary, and we cancel that one. I provided this name, maybe it's looking for this particular complete name. So let's provide the Linux here. Okay, so in space of Ajay, I will use the Linux. So tic-tac-toe, and go to the workflow and go to sonar.yml, and let's change it to Linux here. So we provided so many labels, so we have to check that also, so whether it's working fine or not, or it is taking from the only self-hosted and everything. Okay, so go to the actions, and you can see update sonar.yml. So build, and it's setting up job, and you can see now it's running a job build. Okay, so that means we have to provide a complete name, I think. So we need to provide comma after every label, but I forgot to add the commas. Okay, and you can see it's checking up everything, it's copying entry point, intermediate servers, and it's scanning our code with our local. You can see, so this is where our EC2 instance runs the job using the self-hosted runner. So we are not using any GitHub runner for these jobs. So we are running self-hosted for this particular project. Okay, so you can see it's still running the job. So whenever the job completes, it says that the job is successful message with the successful message, and you can see it's completing the job. So this is done. If you go back to EC2, and you can see, so job build was completed with result succeeded. So, and if you go back to the sonar cube dashboard, and you can see it's scanned 5 minutes ago, and just refresh this ones, and you can see it scan 46 seconds ago. Okay, so that is our code is working fine. So we need to add the other, right? So next, what is our next step? After the sonar cube analysis, we need to install npm. Okay, so go to here, go to the repository, and come back to the summary. So we use Linux, right? So let's change it to self-hosted. Okay, it's taking the it's not taking as a, so that's why we changed the Linux here. Okay, so let's edit. Sorry, so I need to edit, right? So click on edit this file and enter, and you have to provide hyphen name, column. Sorry. So you have to provide the indentation properly, otherwise it will throw error. Okay, and you can see the name. So we need to provide npm install. So what is the command? So run command, we need to use a run npm install. So this is the command to install the npm, right? Npm install dependency should be the name. So let's change it to self-hosted. Okay, So we are using the self-hosted name now. Okay, so for the label, so we used the last time Linux, and now we are using the self-hosted, and click on commit changes and commit. So our next stage is added, right, for our npm installing the dependencies and update sonar.yml, and you can see the build also, and it's setting up the job now. Okay, and if you go back here, and you can see it's running a job build. So again instance will starting listening jobs and doing the jobs and builds and everything, and it's setting up jobs. Still it's taking some time, and you can see it's working fine now. Okay, so setup job is completed, and sonar cube analysis is also completed here. And you can see after that execution of the sonar cube analysis, it started analyzing, it's installing the dependencies. Okay, you can see here it's saying that installing dependencies everything, so it's getting some warnings and everything, you can see. So npm install dependencies is the name for our command. Okay, so you can see npm audit is also done, so it's installed some dependencies, right? And you can see, so our build got succeeded. So that means our next stage, what is the next stage? So this is next stage, right? npm install is done, and next we need to scan our files. Okay, let's add that step. Go here and go to the tic-tac-toe. So these are the simple commands. Okay, so no need to worry about everything, and go to the workflows and go to the sonar.yml and edit the file. So next we need to add, let me provide a small space. So okay, so npm installation is done. So let's run the trivia file scan. Okay, so we need to provide name colon, so trivia file scan, so is the name for my step. And run command, what is the run command we need to use? trivia fs dot, so I need to get the report also to file fs.txt. So it will scan every files using the trivia fs command, and it will generate the report to this particular trivia fs.txt. And just click on commit changes, and let's go back to the actions, and you can see it's starting the update sonar.yml, and it's we build, right, we push the content, right? So that's why it's starting again another build, and you can see here it's setting up job, and you can see here also this is the second job we use it for our runner. So and it's starting the third job for our runner inside our instance. Okay, so on the self-hosted runner, and you can see build and analyze with sonar cube. It will always it will check scan, it will scan code and everything. Okay, sonar analysis is working fine without any error, execution is succeeded, and npm installation is also, you can see this is the run command we provided, right? npm install. And if you go back to the file scan also, we already have the trivia is installed on our local instance, and you can see now trivia file scan is started, and you can see run command we use it, right? trivia fs dot, and we generated the file to trivia fs.txt, and you can see the post it scanned every vulnerabilities. Okay, that is done, and we got the build also succeeded. And if you see here, our job build is completed here also, third job completed. Let's see, exit from there, and if you provide ls here, and let's see whether it's created any file or not. Go back here and check the tree file scan once, treefs.txt, it's using the repository, so downloading it from db, and it's scanning vulnerability. That is done. So let's go inside the work, and we need to go inside, let me provide, yeah, so we need to go inside this particular work. So cd underscore work, enter, and if you provide ls again, and you can go, this is our project name, right? tic-tac-toe. Then we need to go inside that, and if you provide ls here, and again we need to go inside the tic-tac-toe, cd, enter, so ls, and you can see that trivia fs.txt that it's generated. Okay, so clear the screen. So this is done. Let's come back to our action runner. Okay, so see whether we are at action runner or not. Okay, so we are at action runner now, and just run the run.sh again. so to listen our jobs. Okay, so I have to show everything, right? For the file scan I used the to generate a report to a text file, right? I need to show that also. So now this is done. So what is our next step? Okay, you can see here. So we done that review file scan, and next we need to build and push the image. So in order to push the image we need the Docker credentials. Okay, so Docker credentials we need, right? So that's why we need to go to the new, open a new tab, go to the Docker hub. Okay, enter and click on the first result here, and just click on sign in. So we need to log in with your user credentials for our Docker hub. Okay, so we need to provide any Docker credential from here. So we need to generate a personal access token. You can see this is the Docker hub. Okay, so I have to click on profile here. So 7 as a, you can see here on the top right, and you have to click on account settings, and you have to go to the security, and you can see here. So this was generated by GitHub, I mean Docker hub itself. Okay, so no need to worry about this. This is auto generated, and you have to click on new access token, and you can provide the name. So I'm just providing for the EKS, right? So just click on generate. So GitHub actions, anything fine. So you have to select this one, copy this one. Okay, and if I open another new tab, and you have to provide GitHub actions Docker and enter. And you have to see, you have to go to this particular introduction to GitHub Actions, select this one, and if you go down, so it will provide the workflow. Okay, so I can see here. So we need to add the username like this. So select this one and go to the GitHub repository. This is the GitHub repository, right? So go to the settings and come down, and under secrets and variables, click on actions and click on new repository secret. We need to add our Docker hub username and the Docker hub personal access token that we generated, right? That to our secret. Okay, and paste that one. So Docker hub username. So what is your Docker hub username? My Docker hub username is 7 as a, so I am using that one. So you have to provide your own Docker hub username here and click on add secret. So I added the secret, right? Okay, so username is added. So how to add the password? So you can see, copy this particular Docker hub token and come back to here to the repository and click on new repository secret again, and forward the name as Docker hub token and come back to Docker hub. So this is the token that we generated, right? Just copy this token and come back here, and you have to paste it here and add as a secret. You can see Docker hub username is added and token is added now. Okay, so let's come back to the tic-tac-toe, and we need to add this stage. I mean, we need to add this step to our sonar.yml. I mean to the workflow. Okay, so edit this one and let's come down. So after this, so hyphen space name, provide the syntax correct, otherwise it will throw error. Okay, so name, so you can provide any name you want. I'm just providing Docker build and push. Okay, and enter. So let's run the commands. So provide the run command, and let's see here what it's providing, and you can see it's using the same Docker login action and everything. Okay, so we can use this particular one. So otherwise I already provided a code inside my blog itself. Okay, we can go here and we'll copy the code. Okay, I will explain that code, and you can see here. So we are not just providing the run command and adding this one. So and we can use this particular use cases also, but it looks like very complex for the new users for GitHub Actions. So that's why I'm not making the video more length. So you have to provide the pipe symbol, and we need to provide the commands here. So after run, inside the run we need to run. Okay, you can see here. So under run. Okay, so you have to, what is the command to build? So let's provide Docker build. So this is the image, right? We need to build Docker build -t. So Docker build -t. So you can provide whatever your name, whatever the name you want for your image. So I am going with the tic-tac. So tic-tac-toe as the name, and the Docker file is at the same folder. That's why I'm providing that one. And for next, we need to Docker tag it. So what is the image that I generated? The image that I created is tic-tac-toe to my, I'm tagging with my username 7 as a hyphen tag hyphen toy and the latest, enter. So next we need to log in order to push our tic-tac-toe image to our Docker hub, right? So just we provide docker login hyphen u. So you have to provide a user and you have to provide the dollar and open a curly brackets 2 times, and next you have to provide secrets because our secrets stored at secrets, right? And if you come here, so we can directly use this one, okay? So just right click, copy it and come here and remove that complete docker login hyphen u. So you can paste it here and hyphen p for the password. So we can use this one. So secrets docker hub token that we already saved inside our GitHub. So paste it here. So you can see that is done and enter. So next we need to push it docker push. So what is the image name? This is the image name. It's 7 as a tic-tac-toe latest. Just copy this one and you can paste it here, and that is done. And if you want to add any environment or anything, that is also fine, but in order to push, right, we need some environment, okay? So we have to use this particular environment, okay? env, so docker clasc1, copy this one. So come back here, paste it here. So we should run this inside, okay? So you can see, otherwise we'll get the error, okay? So this is done. So this will build the email, so with the name tic-tac-toe, and it will tag with our username. So we have to change it your username here, and we are using the docker login to log in our docker hub, and we are going to push the image to our docker hub, okay? So we already added credentials, right, inside our secrets for the action, GitHub actions. Just click on commit changes. So commit, and everything should run inside our EC2 instance only. So we are not using any GitHub hosted runner. So we are using only self-hosted runner, okay? So come to the actions and you can see updated sonar.yml, it started job. And if you come back here and you can see running job, so it started the build job now, okay? And come back here, so click on build and everything is same. So sonar cube analysis is same, npm installation is same. So but we use it the Jenkins, right, for the CI/CD. So we are using inside the pipeline stages and everything, but we are writing in different format. So that is the only thing we are doing. So GitHub will automatically provide a runner for our work process. So in the Jenkins we use the agent. So that is the difference. So after the GitHub actions runner, so it will automatically delete its own runner, okay? So but we are using self-hosted, right? So for the deployment of the Kubernetes, and you can see it's building the image, okay? It's pulling the node 16th version first, full completed now. And you can see our second step, it started a work directory. It's setting up the work directory and copying the package.asn, and it's installing the some dependencies by running npm install. Some warnings maybe will get, just ignore those commands, okay? No need to worry about that. And you can see it's completely created your image, okay? You can see here expose it to 3000 port, and it started the command npm start, and it successfully built the image. So name as tic-tac-toe latest, and you can see, so login is also succeeded and everything is fine. And you can see, so mounted from library/node, and you can see the image is pushed here, okay? So to the docker hub, right? So if you go back to the docker hub here, so just copy and close, okay? And let's come back to the docker hub and let's see whether our image is coming here or not, okay? And just refresh. It's tic-tac-toe pushed few seconds ago. So just select this one and you can select the name and everything, okay? So everything fine, right? So go to the update sonar.yml. You can see the job is also completed, okay? So let's add our scanning part of the image, okay? So we need to add our image, right? Scan our image, and you can see, so docker build and push is completed. Now we need to add the Trivy image scan, okay? So let's go back here and go to the GitHub repository and go to the summary, and you have to select the GitHub workflows and click on sonar.yml. So you can use any name, okay? So not the sonar.yml or any. So I used the sonar.yml. Maybe if you get any doubt, let me change it to build.yml, okay? So that is done. So let's add our another step for scanning of your image. So hyphen name, okay. So should be in correct format, image scan. So what is the run command to scan our image? Run. So preview image. What is the image name? We should save as a slash, and we can copy the image from here itself, okay. So not to get any errors, just copy it and let's paste it here. And if you want to generate any report, just generate by providing the preview image.txt, okay. So this is fine, and let's apply, commit changes. So commit and go to the actions, and you can see updated and rename sonar YML to, I changed the name, right, sonar YML to build YML. That's, it's also saying that you changed the name also, okay. So go to the build. So till now we are at the integration part only, okay. So it scan and everything, it is same, okay, for the analysis and file scan and everything is same, but we need to see the final image scan report, okay, for now. And you can see image scan is started now. So this is the command, right, review image. So we are using our Docker Hub image, right, 7 as a. So with the tic-tac-toe latest, it will scan our image, okay, completely. So image scan, it will take some time, okay, for the first time, right. So you can see it's taken almost 1 minute 7 seconds, and you can see image scan is also completed, okay. So let's go to the mobile extreme here, and once this is done, so job build completed with result succeeded. So then we can go to the work folder and let's see whether it's generated our report or not. So this is done. Let's Control C, and we need to exit from that and go to the work directory first of all, and go to the tic-tac-toe again. Yeah, let me come to tic-tac-toe, and again we need to go to the tic-tac-toe, enter, and if you provide ls here, and you can see it generated the review image.txt also report for our image scanning. Let's see by providing cat review image.txt and enter, and you can see the report for our vulnerabilities of our image, okay, for the Docker image, and it's looking so lengthy, okay. And you can see the image report, everything fine. So clear the screen, okay. So this is done. Let's come back to home, Ubuntu, and action runner, and clear the screen, and let's run the command again by run of, we need the run.sh, and so we need to start the GitHub actions every time whenever we go outside to see image reports and everything, okay. So we need to start it again. So everything is done, okay. So let's go to the tic-tac-toe and go to the work, and let's come back to the GitHub workflows and build.yaml. So let's copy it everything, okay, and go to the Visual Studio Code and go to the EKS YML. So let's close this, so we don't need any terminal, and just paste it, so the script, okay. So till now image scan is done. So let's go here, and we need to deploy our application to container and to the Kubernetes, okay. So and you can see we started a job, right. So at the build analyze scan, so we need to write the same, at the same line we need to write the deploy also, okay. Come here, and we need to write the deploy. So same, we need to provide the same alignment, okay. So same line in the same line, okay, you can see. So build, and if you come down like the same line you need to provide, okay. So deploy also, otherwise it will throw error, get the syntactical issues and everything, okay. So sorry, after the deploy we need to set the colon and enter, and we need to use the needs. So because, so this deployment need our this one, right. So whenever this completes only it will build the image, so after that only we can go to the deployment for, that's why we need the needs colon. So what is the job name? So this is the job name, right. Just copy this job name up to the scan, so Control C, and you can paste it here at the needs, okay. So paste it here. So that is done. this job, so this build analyze scan job should be needed for our deployment. Okay, so without this building image and everything, we can't deploy any application, right? So that's why we need that one. So that's why we are using the needs. So and enter, and next runs on. So we can use the runs on again. So we need to run on our self-hosted, right? That's why we need to use the runs on and use the square brackets, and we can use the self hyphen hosted here. So that is done, and come enter, and let's use the steps. Okay, so what is the steps we need? Enter, and let's start with the name and everything. So name, I think should be in the same letter. Let's see. Yeah, should be, yeah, here. Okay, so this is fine now. Okay, so at the key. So what is the name? So if you want to pull the Docker image, so just provide the Docker pull image. So that is done. So what is the run command we need to do? So run. So Docker pull. So what is the image name? So this is the image name, right? Just select the name, copy it and paste it here and enter. And if you want to scan the image again, just copy these two lines. Okay, so copy it, and you have to enter again and paste it here, and just change the image report to, so change it to other name. Okay, so otherwise it will get conflict. So let's change it to deploy.txt. Okay, so next add the hyphen name for to deploy to our container. So deploy to container. So what is the run command we need to use? So run. So docker run hyphen d hyphen name. So game is enough. Okay, so let's call it with the name as game hyphen p with port. So we expose it to 3000. That's why we need to provide the 3000. And what is the image name? This is the image name, right? So select this one, and you have to use the same name here for the running of container. Okay, docker run hyphen d hyphen name, and we can use that one. So you can see the everything. Okay, so that is done. Let's add the deployment to Kubernetes also, hyphen NAM. So if you want to do up to the container also, that is also fine. Okay, let's save it and Control All and Control C. Okay, and come back here and edit this file and Control All and delete everything and paste it new thing, and let's see. Okay, so this is done. Okay, we are deploying up to container now. Okay, so just commit changes. So commit and go to the actions, and you can see update build.yml, and you can see we got the two jobs now. Okay, so whenever this first job, build analyze job completes, then only this deploy job will run. Okay, otherwise whenever this build job completely failure, so this deploy job also will fail it. Okay, so if you go inside the build, and you can see it will build the image and it will scan the image and everything. It will take some time, so minimum 4 minutes. So I will skip that part. Okay, and you can see, so our build got succeeded. So then only our deploy is starting. Okay, so our deploy job started after the build. Okay, you can see starting up the job, and you can see job is about to start running on the runner EKS, and you can see here it's running job deploy. So last time it started the running job as build, right? So it started the new job deploy, and if you go here and go to the deploy, and you can see it's pulled the image, and you can see it's pulling the image tic-tac-toe. That is done, and we added the image scan also. Okay, so inside our deploy job also we added the image scan. Okay, so that's why it will take some time. So meanwhile, let me add the GitHub action to our Slack. Okay, so we will get the Slack notification also. Okay, so let's add Slack notifications. Okay, so go here, open a new tab. So I already made a dedicated video how to create a Slack and everything. Okay, so I will provide the link in the description. You can watch that video to create our Slack channel. This is my Slack channel. So click on launch Slack. So let's close the old one. So this is my Slack. Okay, so click on channels, and we need to create a new channel for our GitHub Actions. Okay, so create channel, and you can provide any name you want. Okay, so GitHub Actions, let me call it as a GitHub Actions hyphen EKS. So click on next and make it to public, create. And if you want to add any other users, so just skip for now. I don't want to add any others. Okay, so we need to create a application for our Slack. Okay, in order to get the notification from our GitHub Actions. Okay, so you have to click on your name on top left, so Mr. Cloudbook, and click on settings and administration, and go to the manage apps. So it will open a new tab, and if you see here, and you can see our deploy to container is also completed. Okay, so it's running on 3000 meanwhile. So let's go back to the console. I mean AWS console. So select the EC2 instance with GitHub Action EKS. So we deployed on this one, right? So copy this one and open a new tab and paste it with 3000. So and enter, and you can see we got the game, right? So let's pair. So let's close it for now. Okay, so let me stop the container from here. Okay, itself. So we don't want to run this one. So I don't need that one anymore. Okay, Docker stop. So what is the name? I provided the game, right? So just provide a game and remove that one by providing Docker rm game, enter. So that is done. If you provide Docker ps-a, and you can see our only sonar cube is running. Okay, so and come back here and go to the manage apps, and we need to click on build up the top right. Okay, you can see here after beside my Mr. Cloudbook, you have to click on build, and we have to click on create an app. So for the first time we need to create an application from scratch itself. Okay, so create an app, and you have to select it from scratch. Okay, and you have to provide a name for your application. Okay, so let me provide GitHub Actions as the name for our application, and we have to select the workspace. So select the Mr. Cloudbook, and you have to click on work create app, and you can see we will get the basic information like this. So we need to select the incoming webhooks. Okay, select this one, and you can see here it will open another tab for our activate incoming webhooks. We need to set this on. Okay, so it will off by default, but we need to set it on. Okay, and next come down, and you can see we don't have any webhook URL now. Okay, so we need to click on add new webhook to workspace, and you can see it will redirect to another page and search for the channel. So you have to click on this one, and we need to provide a hash. Okay, and you need to select the GitHub Actions. That is the application. This is the channel that I created, right? So that's why I'm selected the same channel by providing as and GitHub Action EKS. This is the channel I created, and we need to click on apply. Allow. So this is the URL we will get. So we need to copy this one, and we need to add this into our GitHub repository. So come back to here to the GitHub repository and go to the settings, and you have to come down for the secrets and variables and click on actions and new repository secret, and we need to add the secret with the name. Okay, so come here and the blog itself I provided the, so for the name, so we have to come back to the blog, and let's go down for the Slack notifications. Okay, and we need to use this particular Slack webhook URL. Okay, so for that name, so copy this name and come back here and use it here. Okay, so Slack webhook URL, and let's copy this particular, you can see this is the webhook URL. So just copy this and come back to the repository and paste it here, and you can see this is the slack.com services, and just click on add secret. Okay, and let's paste this, let's copy these lines. So just copy it and go back to here, and let's add it here. Okay, inside the EKS.yml. Okay, paste it here. Let me make it properly, align it properly. Okay, should be here name. Okay, if and everything is same, and we need to update the configure, right? Let's add the Kubernetes deployment also, hyphen name. So we need to update before doing the deployment. Okay, so you can see update the kube config. So we need to update this one. Just copy these lines and let's paste it here. Okay, so I will explain the command. So whenever you create an EKS cluster, you need to update the config, right? By providing AWS EKS, you need to provide your region. So my cluster region. So let's go back to my cluster, go to the AWS console here and go to the console, and you have to search for EKS and enter, and you can see this is my cluster, right? So select this cluster and you have to copy this name. Okay, so EKS cloud, let's copy this, and you can see the region also. If you click on here and you can see AP South 1. Okay, so come here and we need to change the name here. So under the cluster name, remove that one and paste the name. So this is the name, right? My cluster name is EKS underscore cloud, and for the region I need to provide AP-South 1. Okay, so this will update the kube config. Okay, and for next we need to apply deploy. So name, so deploy to Kubernetes. What is the run command to deploy? Run kubectl. So apply -f. So in order to apply, we need the kubectl. That's why we install that kubectl before only. So we need to upgrade the kube config. That's why we need to use the AWS CLI. That's why we install AWS CLI before only. Okay, so Docker and every tool. Okay, so what is the deployment service name? So this is the deployment service.yaml. Just right click and click on rename and copy the name, complete Control A and copy it and go here, and we need to provide the same name here. Okay, kubectl apply -f and paste the name. So deployment service.yaml. So this will apply our deployment file to kubectl. Okay, so let's change the channel name here. So you need to change the channel name here, don't forget to do that. So you have to change the channel name here. So under channel. Okay, so select here and go back to console and come to the Slack. So this is my channel name, right? Just select here and copy it and come back here and paste it here. With the as mark, we need to provide as GitHub action EKS. This is my channel name. So this channel will get the notifications. Okay, so save it and Control Alt and Control C. So this will update the kube config and it will deploy to Kubernetes also. Let's go back to the browser and go to the GitHub repository and go to tic-tac-toe, and we need to add this particular code to workflow. Okay, so go GitHub workflows and build.yml and Control Alt, let me edit this one. Okay, so otherwise it will throw error, and Control Alt and delete and paste it, and let's remove the space at the end. Okay, so and you need to change the bucket here. Okay, so you need to change the channel here. Okay, don't forget to do that. Okay, so if you want to change the name here also, last.yaml, so I want to change it to build to deployed. So I want to use that name. Okay, so commit changes, so commit, and if you go back to actions and you can see updated and rename build.yml to deployed.yml, because we are completing the last stage, right? And you can see let me come here. I think we need to start this one. Okay, so run.sh we stopped for the removing of container, so that's why it won't restart. Okay, if you click on build and it will starting the job and waiting for our runner. Okay, so you can see it started now, and if you go back here and if you click on build again, it will automatically start your job. Okay, you can see it's starting the job now. Okay, so everything is done. So till now you can see here we created the EC2 and we used the Terraform installation script to install Terraform. So we provisioned EKS on that EC2 with that EC2. So we provisioned AWS EKS on our console, and with GitHub actions we install the runner on our EC2 instance. We do the SonarQube analysis, install dependencies, file scan is completed, building the image and pushing the Docker image to Docker Hub is done. We scanned the image also, preview image scan, we deployed to container, and finally now we are deploying our application to EKS, to the Kubernetes, and we are getting the Slack notifications also. Okay, So this is the tic-tac-toe game we are going to deploy from the GitHub Actions. Okay, so let's wait for the completion of this project. Okay, so build and push and everything started now. Okay, so let's come back to the summary, and you can see once this build job completes, it's automatically start the deploy job. Okay, our build job is completed, and now its deploy job depends on the build job date. So now the deploy job will start. Okay, and you can see setup job is started, and it's pulling the image, you can see. And if you go back here, and you can see job build completed with result succeeded, and it's completed the build job. Now it started the deploy job. Okay, so we have our self-hosted runner doing the every jobs. Okay, go here, and you can see image scanning now. Okay, so deploy is also completed. So if you want to use only one image scan, that is also works fine. Okay, no need to worry about that. I just wanted to show you, so we can use the scanning image also inside the deploy also. Okay, that is the thing. And you can see deploy to container is started, and you can see it's updated the kube config also. You can see run kubectl apply is also done. Okay, so you can see deployment is also created and service is also created, and it's setting the Slack notification also. You can see here notification is sent, and you can see sent deploy status of success to Slack. And let's go to the Slack. Let's see where first we are getting the notification or not. You can see, so this is the Slack notification we are getting, and you can see the GitHub repository also, github.com is7 tic-tac-toe actions query, and you can see the status and everything here for the push is success. Okay, and if you click on that one, and you can see this scan report and everything. Okay, so let's close it. We got the Slack notification, so that is done. So let's see Kubernetes deployment first. So kubectl apply is done, right? And let's go back here. Let's Control C to close this one. So we need to close the runner first, and let's provide kubectl get all, and you can see service is started, right? tic-tac-toe service is started, and deployment tic-tac-toe is working fine. And you need to use this particular load balancer URL to get the image. Okay, so let's copy it. So before doing this, so we need to open this particular port on our node group. Okay, so let's select this, copy it, go back to console and go to here. So we need to open the port, right? So go to the EC2. So whatever the EC2 instance that is generated, I mean that is present, that is created by the EKS, we need to open that port. Go to the instances running state, and we need to select this one. Okay, so this is the right T2 medium. So this one is generated from the node group, right? Go to the security, and we need to edit, right, some inbound rules. So you have to select the security groups here and edit inbound rule, add rule, and we need to provide the, so this is the IP address 30,719, and you can see that 30719. And let's go back here and open for all, and just click on save rules. So this is done, and you can see load balancer is also created for this particular application tic-tac-toe. Okay, for one load balancer is definitely created. Okay, you can see this is the name, and if you click on this one, and you can see everything. Okay, if you click on DNS name, and if you come here, open a new tab and paste it and click on enter, so it will take some time. Okay, and you can see we are getting the we are getting the game, right? And you can see here this is the same IP, this is the same external IP address we are getting from the load balancer. Okay, so we can play the game also, and you can see we can play the game easily without any errors. Okay, this is how you have to deploy your application with the GitHub Actions. Okay, and we are getting the notification to the Slack, and we got the image inside our kubectl, and every job is completed. Okay, and go here and let's see the update.yml, and you can see Docker pull image is done, image scan is done. Okay, so deploy to container, and you can see this one also. Okay, deploy to Kubernetes, Slack notification, so everything is done. Okay, so if you go back to summary, and you can see the time also, it's taken 7 minutes to complete the project. So we need to delete our cluster, right? First we need to delete the cluster. So before deleting the cluster, we need to delete the deployment. Okay, so let's come back here. Let's go back to tic-tac-toe, go to the workflows, and we need to stop the container and remove the container, and we need to delete that one, right? So let's edit this one, and we don't require these all steps. Okay, so now this is no need to worry about this anymore. Let's remove all these steps up to checkout. Okay, so what is the command to remove container? Docker stop, right? Delete it. Docker stop. What is the name I provided? Game. So let's go with the game. So let's go here. First of all, use this one, docker stop, and remove the container, docker remove game. So that is done. Let's delete this one by providing delete here. That is done. Let's click on apply commit changes. So make it commit. Let's see whether it's deleting or not. Okay, so go to the actions. Oh, we need to start this one, right? So let's start the run.sh also. Enter. So we need the self-hosted runner to be working. Okay, so otherwise it won't start the jobs. Okay, so if you click on update deploy.yml and click on build and starting the job. Okay, so it will take some time. So click on build and you can see checking out the code, and next it will deploy the container. Okay, you can see deploy to container and it's removing. Okay, stopping and removing, and you can see the Kubernetes also, and you can see deployment tic-tac-toe is deployed, deleted. And finally we are getting the Slack notification also, and let's go back to the GitHub Actions Slack, and you can see this is done. Okay, so we got that 2 notifications from our GitHub Actions, right? So this is done, and if you go back here and if you refresh this one, we can't play the game anymore. And if you go back to the load balancers also, and we can't find any load balancer. If you go to the load balancers and just refresh this one, okay, it will automatically refresh it, and you can see no resources is to be displayed. Okay, so let's go to the issue here. So first we need to delete this particular runner. Okay, so Control L to clear the screen and go here and go to the repository. So this is done, however, and let's go back to tic-tac-toe and go to the settings and go to the actions and click on runners, and you can see this you have to click on 3 dots here and click on remove runner, and you have to provide your password. Okay, and we need to provide this particular command. Copy this command and use it here. Okay, so just use it here, shift insert and enter, and it will remove. You can see runner was removable. Okay, so runner was removed successfully, and let's go here. Yeah, this is done, and let's refresh once, and you can see there are no runners configured. Okay, so this is done. Let's go back here, to the mobile extreme. So cd home /ubuntu, enter, and ls cd2 tic-tac-toe, enter, ls and cd2 EKS. So we created a Terraform from there, right? So here and enter. Let's remove it by providing Terraform destroy -auto -approve, enter, and you can see it will start deleting your cluster. Okay, it's refreshing and everything, it's destroying. You can see 8 to destroy. It will take 10 minutes to destroy everything. I will skip this part and I will remove the institution that is be created. Okay, so go to 7 and account settings and security, EKS that we created, delete forever, it's deleted, and you have to instance state and click on terminate instance. So terminate this one, so we don't need this anymore. Okay, and you can see successfully terminated. Okay, shutting down. I hope you learned something new from this video. Thanks for watching the video and keep on supporting.